Good afternoon, I'm Roger Garrity. Police swarmed the Flynn Elementary School in Burlington this morning after reports of an individual acting threateningly. Logan Crawford is on the scene at Flynn Elementary. Logan, what's happening?
Roger, just minutes ago, the lockdown at the school ended, and parents are now free to come pick up their kids. All morning long, police swarmed the street on North Avenue, and so did residents and concerned parents. Burlington police shut the school down while they worked to identify the individual who prompted the incident. Authorities say the person was acting in a threatening manner somewhere outside of the school. Law enforcement could be seen patrolling around with their guns out. Parents and relatives of children at the school were worried for their kids' safety.
It's kind of overwhelming because it's like I don't know what's going on, and my nephew was like my second child, so it's like I don't know what's going on.
So I'm just really, concerned about how they are treating the situation of letting parents know what is going on.
Police are holding a press conference at Burlington PD almost at this moment to update us on the situation. They say students were safe during the whole event, and we'll be updating you on this story as it develops. Roger?
Logan Crawford live in Burlington. Thank you, Logan. Vermont State Police have yet to release the name of the trooper who died during a training exercise. The trooper collapsed at the Ethan Allen Firing Range in Jericho yesterday afternoon. He was rushed to the hospital in Burlington where he was pronounced dead. His death is being attributed to a medical event. We're told the trooper was a young man with 2 kids. Governor Shumlin called the news of his death heartbreaking. Joyce Mitchell, the former Dannemora prison worker who helped 2 murderers escape, says she got in way over her head. Mitchell pleaded guilty to providing the tools that Richard Matt and David Sweat used to break out in May. But she told the Today Show that while she went along with the inmates' escape plan, she never intended to pick them up and drive them away as they had hoped. She said she believed that if she had, the pair would have killed her. The escape launched a 3-week manhunt in the North Country. Matt was killed and Sweat was captured. Mitchell will be sentenced for her role in the escape later this month. He was convicted of providing alcohol to a minor who died in a deadly crash. But now the Vermont Supreme Court says Kent Richland should be let out of jail. 16-year-old Clinton Norris died 2 years ago after driving drunk and crashing his ATV in Heinsberg. Prosecutors argue that Norris had asked Richland to buy him gin, which he did. Richland was convicted and sentenced to 6 months in prison, but now the state's high court is ordering a new trial. The decision today says the state needed to prove that Richland knew Norris was under 21, but the judge had told the jury the opposite, that the state only had to prove he supplied the alcohol. Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders leads Hillary Clinton in the polls in New Hampshire and Iowa, but can he beat her in other parts of the country? Sanders was asked about that on an appearance on CBS This Morning today. The Vermont senator says his campaign is working to expand its grassroots outreach to other states so that he can compete with Clinton in the Super Tuesday primaries in March.
And initially, we have put a lot of our resources into New Hampshire and Iowa. South Carolina, we're doing more. But we think on Super Tuesday, a lot of states out there, we have a very good chance to win. We now have enough money to put together a strong grassroots organization. We're going to obviously be doing TV and radio, but we are also going to be having a whole lot of folks knocking on doors, one-to-one, talking to people about who I am and what our program is.
Sanders remains popular in his home state, even among Republicans. That's according to a new poll from the Castleton Polling Institute. When asked who they hope to see elected president in 2016, Vermont Democrats, not surprisingly, overwhelmingly support Sanders at 65%. Hillary Clinton gets 14% support. There is no clear favorite among Vermont Republicans, but the socialist Sanders is tied for the lead with Donald Trump and Ben Carson at 12%. As for who Vermonters expect will win, well, Clinton is favored on the Democratic nomination, and Jeb Bush tops the list on the GOP side. Vermont's unemployment rate held steady for the 6th straight month. The state labor department says the seasonally adjusted statewide jobless rate for August was 3.6%. It hasn't budged since dropping slightly back in April. The national average fell 0.2 in August to 5.1%. Coming up, we have some new information on a plane crash at the Berlin airport. Stay with us.
Every year at Toyota, we stay engage our last chance clearance, which gives you the biggest opportunity of the year to get an amazing deal. Get a last chance clearance $175 a month lease on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with no cost maintenance included, or get 0.9 for $60 on an all-wheel drive RAV4. Hurry to the last chance clearance, because on October 5th, it's curtains. Toyota, let's go places.
Police say a man has died after crashing into a moose in New Hampshire. At about 9 o'clock last night, police say Michael Iadonese, that is, was headed north on I-93 in Lincoln, New Hampshire when he ran into the moose. First responders say the Massachusetts man died at the scene. More details about a plane crash at the Berlin airport yesterday. Police identify the pilot as 67-year-old Dennis Carver of East Montpelier. Officials with the Vermont Aviation Department say Carver missed the runway when he tried returning to the airport and landed hard in a field. The ultralight plane was destroyed. Carver was taken to the hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. A Colchester man was hospitalized after police say he drove into a pond. First responders say it looked like the truck came across the street from Costco and went into the pond in front of the Spare Time bowling alley on Lower Mountain View Drive. No word yet on what caused that crash. The driver and the truck were found floating in the water.
The patient was out of the vehicle. Colchester Rescue assessed the patient on the scene, treated the patient, and they transported him to the hospital.
Officials say the driver was alert and talking when the bystander pulled him from the pond. Gary Sadowski is in now with a look at the weather headed into the weekend, and it is just fantastic out there.
It really is. We've had quite the streak of sunny, hot weather in the middle of September, and we're going to keep it going, well, halfway into the weekend. We have some changes coming.
Don't go away. The weekend forecast is next.